Welcome back to Dealing Together. First caller?
I bought 3 sweaters to get the 4th free.
Oh, you got fleeced. Next caller?
I traded my old Samsung at AT&T for a new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus and chose my plan.
That's not a bad deal.
It is not.
Our best smartphone deals. Your choice of plan. Learn how to get the new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus with Galaxy AI on us with eligible trade-in. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Offers vary by device. Subject to change. S24 plus 256 gigabyte offer available for a limited time. Terms and restrictions apply. See att.com/Samsung for details.
Life can change in an instant, from love to a tangled web of deceit. A horrifying crime is discovered. What led to the disappearance and murder of 24-year-old, loved and revered project manager Kajavia Globe? What happens when love turns fatal? This is the Fatal Attraction Podcast with Masked Secrets, Kajavia Globe.
She had a great family and a solid career.
She had just got that promotion.
She had a great relationship with a new boyfriend.
He was perfect for my sister.
But in the blink of an eye, everything changed.
She didn't come home.
It's my daughter. This is not like her. This is not her character.
Was she carrying a dark secret?
She was so drawn into him like a moth to a flame.
Detectives would soon uncover a complex web of lies.
There was a sex tape that was made.
You have a man in a skeleton mask.
Love is not supposed to hurt. Love is not supposed to take someone's life.
December 14th, 2015. It's a chilly Monday morning in Detroit, Michigan, and downtown is bustling with an energy that would have been unthinkable a few years earlier.
We've been through some tough times, but we're on the uprise.
Detroit is this comeback city right now, and it's been a long time in the making.
While many are out on their morning commute, a sanitation worker in the Brightmoor area is making his rounds.
This area is a residential area. It just consists of homes, single-family homes, some vacant dwellings and vacant lots.
In front of one of these vacant houses, the sanitation worker comes across an oddly placed garbage container. As the worker attempts to roll the can, he notices it is unusually heavy.
It was obvious someone had put something more than just household garbage in there.
When the worker lifts the lid, he's met with a terrifying sight.
There is the body of a deceased female.
The worker immediately runs back to his truck to call 911.
That call comes into me, I alert my team, and we then head out to the location.
When detectives arrive to examine the body, there is little evidence to suggest just how the victim died.
There was no obvious signs of trauma at the time, but we believe we were investigating a homicide.
She obviously did not place herself inside a trash bin.
Who was this woman? Detectives believe they know the answer.
Police had spent the last 3 days searching for a woman named Kajavia Globe.
But no one had heard from her.
Is this Kajavia Globe? And if so, what led to her tragic death? 24-year-old Kajavia Globe was part of a tight-knit family of strong women.
Kajavia was the big sister. You know, she looked out for her sister. She was very overprotective over her sister. I needed that as me being a single parent because I didn't have to worry.
Kajavia was a mother figure.
It's great. We did everything together. Couldn't have tear us apart.
She was my best friend. You could confide into Kajavia about anything.
With the support of her family, Kajavia was thriving in her professional life.
She was working at a telemarketing firm and had just been promoted to project manager.
She was a leader over there. So anyone coming to her, she would teach them the software and everything. So she was really excited about it.
She wasn't going to let anything or anyone prevent her from achieving the goals that she had.
She always wanted to reach for the stars. She was like, oh, I'm going to grow with this company. I'm going to advance to the fullest.
Focused on her successful career, Kajavia wasn't looking for love, but couldn't deny the chemistry she had with coworker, 37-year-old John Black.
She was a guy magnet. She was popping, fly. They will always go out on dates. He always took her to nice places, and she just was like, he treats me like a queen.
Why are you so good to me?
Because you deserve it.
After a 6-week romance, the couple had become inseparable, and John asked Kajavia to move in.
He was treating her well. She always talked about him.
She was just happy, full of joy.
However, on the night of December 11th, 2015, Kajavia's sister receives a distressing phone call from John Black.
I had just walked in the house from having dinner.
Hello?
Hey, Adriana? Yeah, it's John. Is Kajavia with you?
No, she's not. Why?
He said she didn't make it home.
She's supposed to be here hours ago.
She's not answering her phone?
No, that's why I'm calling you. She's supposed to be here
It's unlike
hours
her
ago.
to not call or to be, answering the phone.
Well, look, please give me a call once you talk to her.
Will do.
Several hours pass, and there is still no word from Kajavia.
It's completely out of character for her to just go missing.
I'm calling her phone, her sister's calling her phone, everyone is calling her phone.
The following morning, there is still no sign of Kajavia, and her family becomes increasingly alarmed.
We waited till the sun rose, and we went to the police station.
I was sitting at my desk, and a lady and her children come in. She was very frantic, and she was upset.
Hi, how can I help you?
It's my daughter. I can't find her.
Okay, how long has she been missing?
Since last night.
With adults, if you hadn't been missing for a certain period of time, then in some cases we don't take the missing report.
Generally speaking, when someone goes missing, police tend to think this could be voluntary, especially if it's an adult.
But is this one of those cases?
There has to be something you can do.
As she spoke to me, I just had this overwhelming sensation, that it's something more to this.
2 days pass, and Kajavia is still missing. That is, until police respond to a 911 call and find a deceased woman matching her description.
My heart sank because I had to make that call.
Hello, Ms. Globe. Yeah, this is Sergeant Ball.
When we received the phone call, and that was it. They found Kajavia's body.
More secrets are revealed once we return with more Fatal Attraction.
With a new love blossoming and a big promotion at work, 24-year-old Kajavia Globe appeared to have a bright future ahead of her.
By all accounts, Kajavia had everything going for her.
She's sort of living her best life.
But on December 14th, 2015, 2 days after Kajavia was reported missing, her family is devastated to learn that her body has been recovered.
Kajavia's boyfriend, John Black, had called her sister on Friday the 11th and said that she hadn't come home from work.
The family's been through hell. There was no explanation as to why she would suddenly take off, and then suddenly there's a body that's been found.
Now, with her body identified, homicide detectives must piece together what happened to Kajavia Globe and why.
The evidence techs take photos. We collect evidence from the trash can. There were dog hair fibers that were collected. There was also pillow fibers. It looked like the dog may have torn a pillow or a comforter apart. We also collected those fibers.
The can had been found in front of a clearly abandoned house.
They also checked the vacant house. The vacant house was boarded up, and they could see that no one had entered that house.
We conducted a canvass and spoke to the neighbors, asked what they may have saw or heard.
Unfortunately, detectives are unable to find any witnesses. Their hope now is that Kajavia's body might provide the answers they need.
Kajavia's body was transported to the medical examiner to see if they could determine a cause of death.
While they wait for the forensic evidence to be processed, their next step is to talk to Kajavia's grieving family, with the hope they might help generate some leads.
Was she having any trouble with anyone, maybe at work?
They had a surprise party for her promotion at work. The day of her disappearance,
she didn't appear to have any problems or anything like that at her job.
Well, how were things with her boyfriend? Any problem?
John Black? Not that I noticed. He was the one that told us she was missing.
John was calling us, trying to find out where was Kajavia at.
She was supposed to be here hours ago.
He was very adamant on trying to find Kajavia.
When a woman goes missing, those closest are immediately suspects. The current husband or boyfriend or whomever that happens to be.
I thought that John had something to do with my sister's murder due to the fact that that was the man that was around her at the time.
Anybody else we should look at?
Kajavia's mother gives them the name of another man in her daughter's life, Kajavia's ex, Maxwell Brack.
Max was her first relationship. Max was Kajavia's first everything.
When I initially met Max, it was a good vibe. He was a good guy.
Yes, I like that one.
He made my sister happy, and my sister was always there for him.
You love me, right?
You know I do. You don't lie for me.
But Kajavia's family says that despite their relationship being strong, Max started showing a darker side that landed him in prison in 2011.
Maxwell was sentenced for 2 years on a gun charge. And once he was released, their relationship changed between him and Kajavia.
Her sister came to me and was expressing her feelings that she didn't like how Max talked to her sister.
He would demean her. He would talk to her like he was the dad instead of the boyfriend.
According to Kajavia's family, eventually the abuse allegedly became physical, and Kajavia had had enough.
Kajavia had finally left Max because she got tired of the fighting, the arguing. And she finally said, "Mom, I'm gonna leave him." And she left him.
Once that breakup happened, that's when they kind of went their separate ways.
And then she met John. She was just happy, full of joy.
Kajavia's mother says she had reached out to Max to find out if he'd seen Kajavia while she was still missing.
Just because they did have history.
I called Max, and Max was like, he haven't seen her.
Detectives now have 2 possible suspects, the ex-boyfriend and the new boyfriend.
Now we're looking at 2 individuals who may have acted or may have been involved in her death.
We'll be in touch.
Detectives assure Kajavia's family they'll find her killer and make interviewing the 2 men in Kajavia's life their top priority.
We started conducting our interviews, and we went out and spoke to John Black.
Tell us about the day Kajavia went missing.
She went to work, man. They threw her a party. She called me afterwards about 6:30. Said she had to run a few errands, but she never came home after that.
Any problems between you two?
No, man, I thought everything was good. Till I seen that video.
Video? What video?
John explains that when Kajavia went missing, he went through her cloud to see if she had posted any pictures or anything that would indicate where she had been. And that's when he found the video.
He found a video of her and Maxwell Brack having sex.
Detectives instantly suspect John may be hiding some facts about when he found the video, but they also wonder when it was made.
So you found this around the time she was missing?
Yes.
So she was cheating on you?
John Black provided us with that information that he suspected Kajavia was still sleeping with Maxwell Brack.
See that tattoo?
Detectives consider the possibility of a love triangle turned deadly, and that they may be face to face with Kajavia's killer.
Jealousy can be a powerful motive. With Kajavia being involved with both guys, maybe one of them let their jealousy get the best of them.
More secrets are revealed once we return with more Fatal Attraction.
Welcome back to Dealing Together. First caller?
I bought 3 sweaters to get the 4th free.
Oh, you got fleeced. Next caller.
I traded my old Samsung at AT&T for a new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus and shows my plan.
That's not a bad deal.
It is not.
Our best smartphone deals, your choice of plan. Learn how to get the new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus with Galaxy AI on us with eligible trade-in. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Offers vary by device, subject to change. S24 plus 256 gigabyte offer available for a limited time. Terms and restrictions apply. See att.com/Samsung for details.
Detroit homicide detectives are investigating the murder of 24-year-old Kajavia Globe.
Police didn't know how she died, but they had multiple suspects on their radar. One is her ex-boyfriend, Max Brack. The other is her current live-in boyfriend, John Black.
Detectives are questioning John Black at his residence and have just learned Kajavia may have been cheating on him with Max.
John tells detectives he found out about Kajavia seeing Max again because of an explicit video he discovered.
When was the video made?
Recently.
How recent?
John says that he noticed Kajavia's new tattoo in the video, so it couldn't have been more than a few weeks old.
Kajavia has gone back to Max Brack. She's having sex with him. There's a history of violence there. Now they find out that this relationship is once again in play.
Detectives believe the video of Kajavia and Max surfacing so close to her death is not just a coincidence.
John said he found it while trying to help locate Kajavia when she was missing. But police have their doubts.
We thought maybe he was upset by that.
Detectives suggest perhaps John had flown into a jealous rage and killed Kajavia. But John claims that's simply not true.
Listen, I understand I got mad about the video. I love Kajavia. I would do anything for that woman. I seen us having kids. I seen us getting married. I loved her, man.
Detectives ask John if he has an alibi for the night Kajavia disappeared.
I was here, man, calling all of her family, trying to figure out exactly where she was, but she never showed up.
John was the one that called Kajavia's family, but his alibi is still flimsy.
Detectives end their interview with John Black, but he's not cleared from their suspect list just yet.
With any investigation, you have to follow a lead all the way until it ends. We had a couple of individuals who were in the suspect pool. We could not tell whether this was a crime of passion, whether this was a love triangle, whether this was some form of retaliation.
Back at the station, detectives look into the other man in Kajavia's life, Max Brack. They start with his arrest record.
Max had a pretty long rap sheet, including a weapons conviction where he served 2 years in prison.
We learned from Maxwell's criminal history that he had convictions for domestic violence and assault, which kind of piqued our interest.
From what we understood, this person was a violent person.
If Max was as dangerous as his record suggests, why would Kajavia keep seeing him?
She would say she wasn't talking to him anymore. She was done with him, but he would always find a way to pull her back in.
You love me, right?
You know I do.
He knew what to say. He knew what buttons to push to get her to reach back out to him.
After multiple attempts to find Kajavia's ex turn up empty-handed, detectives decide to put a bolo out for Max Brack.
Detectives need to talk to Max and find out what he knows. His name is coming up way too much.
In order to find out who killed Kajavia, detectives need to determine where she was the night of December 11th.
We conducted a financial transaction history for Kajavia's bank records. We found that there were some inaccuracies.
We learned that Kajavia's bank card had been used at a local ATM to withdraw money.
It was a withdrawal for $500, 8:03 p.m. on December the 11th.
That is a lot of money to be withdrawn, and it's right around the time that Kajavia stopped answering her phone.
Detectives waste no time retrieving the security footage from the bank.
We requested video footage for that transaction, and in fact showed Kajavia Globe's vehicle.
However, upon closer inspection, detectives make a troubling discovery.
I think we got it.
Kajavia is nowhere to be seen in the footage.
The video footage actually showed an individual with a mask withdrawing money from the ATM.
You have a man in a skeleton mask withdrawing $500 from Kajavia's account in Kajavia's car and no sign of Kajavia.
Detectives feel confident that whoever accessed that ATM is the one who killed Kajavia.
This guy knew her passcode to her bank account.
Now detectives just have to determine who was the man behind the mask.
Again, there are only two people on detectives' radar who had this kind of access to Kajavia's personal life: John Black and Max Brack.
More secrets are revealed once we return with more Fatal Attraction.
Welcome back to Dealing Together. First caller?
I bought 3 sweaters to get the 4th free.
Oh, you got fleeced. Next caller.
I traded my old Samsung at AT&T for a new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus and chose my plan.
That's not a bad deal.
It is not.
Our best smartphone deals, your choice of plan. Learn how to get the new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus with Galaxy AI on us with eligible trade-in. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Offers vary by device, subject to change. S24 plus 256 gigabyte offer available for a limited time. Terms and restrictions apply. See att.com/Samsung for details.
Detectives investigating the murder of Kajavia Globe have uncovered a startling piece of evidence.
Police recover surveillance video showing a man wearing a skeleton mask, withdrawing $500 from Kajavia's account, and even driving her car.
Police assumed that whoever was wearing the mask was most likely the one responsible for her death.
Detectives have their suspect list narrowed down to 2 men, Maxwell Brack and John Black.
Detectives have spoken to Kajavia's current boyfriend, John Black, but now they need to speak with Max Brack.
While police have yet to locate Max Brack, they are able to locate Kajavia's vehicle.
It was seen down in our Brightmoor area in the west side of Detroit.
They found a purse in the back seat. And in the purse were credit cards that belonged to Kajavia.
We had learned that Kajavia had recently been promoted at her job. And when her vehicle was found, there were balloons inside.
But it's not what police find inside the vehicle that makes them take note. It's where the vehicle is found.
Her vehicle was located just a few blocks from where her body was found.
Detectives now have one more piece of the puzzle, but they don't know where she was killed.
While CSIs process Kajavia's car for physical evidence, detectives subpoena phone records and begin combing through them.
Phones are just like a fingerprint in some cases because they tell us where you were, when you were there, how long you stayed.
What they find confirms some of what they already know.
Kajavia had been in frequent contact with Max. There was almost no drop-off in her communication with him.
When the family talked to Max, he stated that he didn't see her nor talk to her.
While the phone records point to the guilt of one of the men in Kajavia's life, they also prove the innocence of another.
The phone record showed that John Black was home the entire night. He was just a concerned boyfriend.
Hey, it's John.
By all accounts, John Black, desperate for answers, he was contacting her family.
I've always been a stand-up guy, so I had to stand my ground because I didn't do anything. And if I have to face these questions, it is what it is. I didn't do that.
In fact, John had hoped to soon marry Kajavia and start a family.
I definitely saw myself marrying Kajavia in the future. It was just a matter of when, you know.
Confident John Black is not their killer, detectives are now ready to move on to their next suspect.
Based on the phone records, we were able to rule him out. So Maxwell is suspect number 1 on our radar.
Once we figured out that that was his number in her call log and him saying that he have not contacted Kajavia in a long time, at that point I knew that Maxwell had something to do with it.
A closer inspection of Max's records gives detectives further proof that he was likely Kajavia's killer.
Maxwell Brack was in the area where her car was dumped, and he's also where her body was dumped at the time of the crime.
What about the ATM? It pinged in this area right here, 8 p.m.
That is not enough to get a warrant yet. We still need eyewitnesses that may help.
On December 16th, 2015, 2 days after Kajavia's body was found, detectives receive a surprising phone call.
We were alerted that there was a witness that potentially had information.
Kim Wilson, who lives on the street where Kajavia was found, arrives at the station to give a statement.
Expressed that there was some information that you may have.
I might be able to help you guys.
On December the 14th, she observed an individual move the garbage can from his property to across the street to be picked up.
She tells police that she had seen this guy with this dumpster, and he was sort of pacing back and forth, and then he ends up taking it and put it in front of the abandoned house.
What was it that drew your attention?
Well, it was this guy taking this garbage can across to a vacant house, but he kept going back and forth.
The person who had moved the trash bin to the street and was standing around, and then also moved the trash can to the rear of the vacant home.
She gave us a description and where he lived. You recognize him if you saw a picture of him?
I might be able to.
Detectives pulled photographs of some random men matching the description she gave, as well as a file photo for Max Brack.
All right, so what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna just show you a group of pictures.
Okay.
And you just go through them, you take as much time as you need, but if you recognize the person in the suit, just let me know, all right?
And she positively identified Maxwell Brack as the person who had moved the trash can where she was found.
Thanks to Kim Wilson's statement, detectives now have enough evidence to arrest Maxwell Brack.
She was very helpful and instrumental in getting the warrant signed for Maxwell Brack.
They run the address given by Kim Wilson, but Max Brack is not listed as a resident. The home belongs to a woman named Cheryl Wolford.
So now detectives have a new name in the mix. Who is this woman, and what is her connection to Max?
Detectives immediately head to the house, prepared to take Max into custody. But when they arrive, there's no sign of him.
Can I help you?
Hello, ma'am. We have a warrant for Maxwell Brack. Is he here?
No. Is this about Kajavia?
Can we come in? So you were aware that her body was found across from here?
It is revealed at that point that her boyfriend is Maxwell Brack.
Could Cheryl Wolford have been involved in Kajavia's murder?
If Kajavia was cheating on John with Max, then that meant Max was cheating on Cheryl with Kajavia.
At this point, she's a possible suspect.
More secrets are revealed once we return with more Fatal Attraction.
Welcome back to Dealing Together. First caller?
I bought 3 sweaters to get the 4th free.
Oh, you got fleeced. Next caller.
I traded my old Samsung at AT&T for a new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus and chose my plan.
That's not a bad deal.
It is not.
Our best smartphone deals, your choice of plan. Learn how to get the new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus with Galaxy AI on us with eligible trade-in. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Offers vary by device, subject to change. S24 plus 256 gigabyte offer available for a limited time. Terms and restrictions apply. See att.com/Samsung for details.
Detroit detectives now have an eyewitness that identified Max Brack as the man who left Kajavia Globe's body in a garbage container.
Maxwell Brack was Kajavia Globe's ex-boyfriend. However, they were still lovers.
Kajavia's body was found across from a house where Max Brack was staying. They have a witness saying he moved her body, but they're still not sure how she died.
Detectives have also found a potential new accomplice in the crime, Max's girlfriend, Cheryl Wolford.
Did you know her?
No, I just knew that her and Max were still hooking up.
How did you find out?
Yeah, I just found a video of the two of them.
The video showed Kajavia having sex with Maxwell Brack.
The fact that she not only knew about Max and Kajavia's relationship, but saw it firsthand, must have been devastating. It's also a red flag for detectives.
We believe that she may have been slighted by that and upset. And due to the proximity of where her body was found and she lived there, she was obviously a suspect to us.
Were you involved in this?
No, I was at work that night. Here's my card. You can check with my supervisor.
And what about Max? Think he's able to do something like this? Can we search your home?
Yes.
Detectives proceed to search Cheryl's home. Although they don't find obvious signs of a crime scene, they don't leave empty-handed.
We found multiple pieces of evidence that were consistent with evidence that was in the trash container.
Cheryl Wolford had a dog, and detectives knew that there were dog hairs as well as fibers from a pillow found with Kajavia's body.
We're gonna have to take a sample of this.
Okay.
Detectives take samples of the hair and fibers for forensic analysis.
With no blood evidence or proof that Cheryl was involved, detectives can't arrest her. But they still need to check her alibi to make sure she's telling the truth.
Upon returning to the station, detectives are met with surprising news. Max Brack has been apprehended.
Maxwell Brack did not come in voluntarily. Our headquarters surveillance tracked him out in Jackson, Michigan, and he was arrested.
Kajavia's family is relieved to hear the news as well.
They told me that we got him, Miss Globe. We have Max. And I was just start thanking God.
He was returned back to our Detroit detention center, at which point myself and Detective Crosby conducted an interview of Mr. Brack.
When detectives sit down with Max, he doesn't appear to be concerned that he is at the center of a homicide investigation.
He's a guy that loves to hear himself talk. He's clearly a narcissist.
He's boasting about how he's used this woman for that, uses that woman for this. He pretty much kind of painted himself a womanizer.
We know you're still involved with Kajavia Globe. We have a witness who saw you move the body. We tracked your phone. So why'd you kill her?
Got bad intel, man. Why would I kill her if I'm still hooking up with her?
He denied. And in most of those denials, our evidence refuted almost everything that he said. He played a victim role during the interview.
don't know what y'all think happened, but I ain't do it. And I ain't saying nothing else until I speak to my lawyer.
Detectives conclude their interview and send Max back to holding.
He hired a lawyer, and his lawyer stated that he was not going to provide a statement. So we continued on with our investigation and building our case.
After their interview with Max, detectives follow up on Cheryl Wolford's alibi for the night of the murder.
She stated that she was at work that night and didn't get home until well after detectives believed Kajavia was killed.
We confirmed the information that she provided, and that's how we were able to clear her.
With another suspect cleared and without a strong motive or cause of death, detectives feel the pressure to build their case against Max.
This was the only time that I have been involved with a homicide investigation where the cause of death has been unknown.
However, when the lab results come in for the items found at Cheryl Wolford's home, detectives believe they now have enough evidence to file murder charges.
We found multiple pieces of evidence that were consistent with evidence that was in the trash container. We sent all of that evidence off to our lab, which it was confirmed that those items were a match, even the dog hair.
Detectives submit their case to the prosecutor's office. 2 months after Kajavia Globe's body was found, Max Brack is charged with open murder.
The evidence pointed to Max, but without a cause of death, they could not file first or second-degree murder charges.
With such an unusual case, will the prosecution be able to make the charges stick, or will Max walk away a free man?
Because they didn't have a cause of death, I think he felt confident that he wouldn't be attached to it.
Max was being very arrogant. I feel like he think he had it in a bag, like he fooled everyone, and that he was going to get off.
I hate this man. This man has destroyed my family.
More secrets are revealed once we return with more Fatal Attraction.
In August of 2016, prosecutors prepared their case against Max Brack for the murder of Kajavia Globe. But Max maintains his innocence.
Max claimed that even though he and Kajavia were still lovers, that didn't mean he killed her.
He said they had this sexual relationship, and that's all it was.
Maxwell told us he would have no reason to hurt or kill Kajavia.
Despite the fact that he was engaged in a sexual relationship with Kajavia at the time of her death, despite the fact that her body is found across the street from where he's living, he says he has nothing to do with this.
When Max's trial begins in late August, emotions run high as his defense begins to poke holes in the prosecution's case.
Even with all the evidence linking Max to Kajavia's body, not knowing how she died really jeopardized the case. They didn't have a cause of death.
Prosecutors also lack a clear-cut motive.
Why did this happen? Why would he kill someone he claimed to love? And we can't ask Kajavia what happened. And Max Brack is never going to admit to what happened.
I believe trying to determine the motive was one of the hardest things in this case, but everything just kept drawing them back together in this combustible relationship that eventually exploded.
Prosecutors and Kajavia's family have a theory about what happened the night Kajavia died.
The prosecution believed that Kajavia went to see Max at Cheryl's home while Cheryl was at work. They assert that Kajavia went there to end the relationship. That's when Max flew into a rage and killed her.
I don't want to do this anymore.
You said that once before already.
We're done, Max. Stop! Stop! Stop it! Get off me! Shut up.
He knew that he couldn't control her. He couldn't get her to just pull up whenever he said he needed something. She wasn't at his beck and call no more.
It was, if I can't have you, nobody can.
Despite the holes in the prosecution's case, Max's demeanor in court may have done the most damage to his defense.
When he walked into the courtroom, he kind of was just arrogant. He had this look on his face like he knew that he was innocent and he didn't have anything to do with it. He honestly thought that he was clear.
On August 31st of 2016, the jury returns their verdict.
In an open murder trial, the jury can convict on a charge that fits the evidence presented. In this case, there wasn't enough for first degree, but second-degree murder still carries substantial prison time.
They found Max guilty of second-degree murder.
It's the news Kajavia Globe's family has been waiting for.
I was a sigh of relief. We are going to get justice for my sister.
At sentencing, the presiding judge makes sure Kajavia's family gets exactly that.
The judge gave him 70 years to 100 years behind bars.
He basically showed no emotion, and I believe that played a big role in why he was found guilty by the jury. And also, during the sentencing, he chuckled at the judge's sentencing.
And the last 10 years of that 70-year sentence, that's for the smile.
That was very powerful to see him just kind of laugh it off.
He will be there for the rest of his life.
It's just a sad situation. Both lives are done. It's like he's gonna sit in prison the rest of his life. That's not a life.
Before Max is taken away, Kajavia's mother makes a powerful statement to the court.
He knew I didn't like him. When he put my baby in that dumpster, that was something to me, because I always told him in his face he was trash. I hate this man. This man has destroyed my family. This man has took something from me that he can never give it back. Never. It was me and my 4 daughters. And we don't have that in our life no more.
I still have a broken heart, and I never will learn how to cope with this, because this is something that eats at me all the time.
Maybe one day he can say and own up to it that he did do that, but I don't really want to hear his answer, because inevitably you still took a life for whatever selfish reason you wanted to do that for.
You never get closure. You just had to learn to live, to deal with it. That's it.
As for John Black, the man who hoped to one day marry Kajavia, he too must find a way to carry on.
I gotta put the pieces back together, but it's not really about me in this situation. It's more about her family.
However, even in their grief, Kajavia's family hopes that her story will save others from the same tragic fate.
No one should belittle you. No one should make you feel less than them. And if you're going through it, get away, get out.
Leave and don't look back. Because somebody loves you, they're not going to hurt you. They're going to protect you. Period.
Love, jealousy, and deceit are all motives for murder, and all lead detectives to solve the murder of Kajavia Globe. In their grief, Kajavia's family mourn her death, but want to turn a spotlight on domestic abuse to help others who may be in a similar situation.
Abuse is never okay. If you or someone you love is in an abusive relationship, there is help available. Call the Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE.
Coming up on the next episode of the Fatal Attraction Podcast.
They were two soldiers serving their country.
They met in the military, got married.
They had a life that they were building. They was always together. They always was like happy.
But a new year begins in horror.
My husband was shot. I need help.
From celebrations to resolutions, New Year's Eve is a time for new beginnings and, in some cases, devastating endings. Tune in to the next episode of the Fatal Attraction Podcast as we explore what happened to Army hero and Sergeant Tyrone Hazel. Tune in to the next episode of the Fatal Attraction Podcast. We will see you in the next episode.